Yo, what's going on, guys? We are here right now, actually waiting for Jackson to join us. But I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. We're one day down of the weekday, heading through this week, and I hope you guys are having a good one. We're gonna kill it. Every day is better than the last. Every day is a great day. Okay, because you gotta manifest positive manifestations. Okay, you are the beholder of your life. Today we're going to talk about some basketball because the NBA basketball is the greatest sport ever known to man, and it gives me joy. It gives me hope every single day of my life, and I'm thankful for it. I hope you guys are too, and I'm thankful for every single one of you watching. Now, I know we're at that point of the season where things are a bit stagnant, a bit lackadaisical, you could put it, but either way, I think today will be a great day, a day that was one to be remembered. So, with that being said, I'd like to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys expect with the Donovan Mitchell news? What do you guys expect with the Brooklyn Nets news? That one's a doozy. And any other assumptions for the NBA season? I'd love to hear them. And let's get right into today's video and let's talk about it, okay? Because I do admit that I think this is just it's an interesting situation that we're in, and Jackson has joined us. How you doing today, buddy?
Hello,
How's it been?
this is Ben.
It's been. That's good, dude. I am just kind of blown away with Kevin Durant basically saying, "You can keep me if you fire Sean Marks and Steve Nash." I understand firing Steve Nash because if your team gets swept in the first round of the playoffs, that's not entirely the team's fault.
But he wanted him.
I know. I think they should keep Sean Marks because not only did Sean Marks get Kevin Durant, Kyrie, he got him James Harden, then he got him Ben Simmons. Like Sean Marks turned the Nets from having no draft picks when they traded everything for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. He took over that team, rebuilt them, and rebuilt them to the point where it enticed, you know, them to come over.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying I'm on the flip of that. I've been saying for months now that Sean Marks should have been fired a long time ago. I
Why?
think I think Sean Marks should have been fired the moment James Harden asked for a trade.
You think? I think Sean Marks has navigated through the whole thing pretty well for how he's been given it. Or am I just
He's been
wrong?
given 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, okay, yes, you're right. You're right.
But this is so
So
not surprising. We've been talking. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Shade? We've been talking about KD. I mean, I hope they get this going. I thought this whole KD, I made a whole video on this. Um, I would not trade for KD for anything. Like he's 33 years old. He turns 34 next month
mhm.
and he has played what 55 games last year, 32 the year before that, 35 the year before that, torn Achilles year before that. Last time he played enough games in a season for me to feel comfortable with paying him that much money and giving up 5 firsts, a star player and an up and coming player would be if it was like 3 years ago. I just don't think I think he's way too risky at 34 years old. And especially because of all the drama he's been bringing the teams he's going to, I guess it just seems like too much of a headache.
No, I understand that, and you're gutting your team, but supposedly, I feel like people are just going to go stalemate and just be like, "Look, this is what we're offering you, and accept it or leave it." Or you think like people are gonna? I don't know. I just feel like everyone's what's going on supposedly with the. We'll talk about it in a bit with the Donovan Mitchell trade. Is that supposedly Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks are in talks, and the Knicks are like, "Hey, we have the best offer, and we're not going to offer you anymore. So we're going to sit here. You can field as many offers as you want from other teams, but and we know we're offering you the best deal right here. Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, and Quentin Grimes, and 2 or 3 picks. That's all we'll give you. Take it or leave it. No one else is going to give you a better deal. And do you think somebody's going to do that with KD? Like, I think someone's going to come up to KD, like the Heat or the Trailblazers or the Wizards, and be like, "We'll give you this. Tell us if anybody will give you a better deal."
Yeah, Boston probably has.
Oh yeah, Boston.
Boston probably is the deal I'd be most interested in. But
You're right.
apparently, weren't we saying that the Jaylen Brown trade was a while ago? Like, wasn't that a old trade proposal?
It was reported that was an old deal. Yes, that like was from a month ago. Like at the beginning of it was very early July. So supposedly they've either pulled out or the trade talks have progressed. We don't know. I tried to get some yesterday from Mike Verkanov when I interviewed him. Tried to get some information when I was interviewing him, and soft deadline. Soft deadline is these trades are going to have to be completed by training camp. That's the first soft deadline. And he said if no trade is done by this, they're on the team either till trade deadline or till next offseason. If none of these, because listen to this. Okay, was it the Carmelo Anthony trade? That Carmelo Anthony trade happened 12 hours before training camp started, when Carmelo was sent from the Knicks to the Thunder. 12 hours before training camp kicked off, they traded him.
Jeez.
So he said, and then he listed off a few other trades that happened like a day or two before training camp. He's like, these deals will probably go to training camp. And if they're on the roster during training camp, they're more than likely will be on the team till deadline or next offseason.
Yeah.
He said he sees the Knicks deal being more likely, the Donovan Mitchell deal, that more likely to happen than a Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving situation. And he said Kyrie and Kevin Durant are two completely separate situations. Kyrie is fine with staying, but if they trade Kevin Durant, they'll probably trade Kyrie. So Kevin Durant would be the first domino to fall. If Kevin Durant is traded, immediately after they would trade Kyrie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's weird, I'll admit. What up, Rocket News? It's like Aaron said, it's a tough sell, regardless of either side you're on, because you kind of have to convince, I guess, not only your team, your staff, your fan base that this is okay.
Yeah, I don't think it happens.
You don't?
KD and Kyrie seems like too much to make happen this late. But then again, in today's day and age, trade me gets you traded. So that's a whole nother thing too, is he's asked for a trade twice now.
I know. I also think it's funny as hell that he literally one had a meeting and he just told them, fire them. Which is crazy to think of. Just balls on Kevin Durant. Fire them and you can keep me.
I really don't get it. I never really understood Steve Nash being a coach in general.
Okay. Go for that. Go for it. Go. Can we talk about that?
The concept's cool. I mean, yeah. But I think a lot of these players are just handed on a silver platter head coaching positions.
A la Jason Kidd. Like Jason Kidd, he retired, and then the next day he was announced the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets.
So there has to be some type of collusion. There has to be something where these guys have to be almost they can't have that much power. There has to be some kicker. Why, if I'm Kevin Durant or if I'm a player in the NBA who has power, like a LeBron almost, why would I want some player, a successful player, sure, but why would I want some player being my coach?
Because
just because they played the game, why does that give them the credentials to coach it?
A lot of these guys are point guards who become coaches.
Yeah, but why are they just handed this just because they're a point guard, just because they're a Hall of Fame?
Because if you're a point guard, you're a coach on the floor.
There's still so much more going on in coaching than just.
I agree.
You need to run an offense.
You need a strong bench, is what you need.
You need to be a leader. More importantly, you need to lead and you need to manage players, you need to manage players' expectations, you need to manage the management, you need to manage all these different types of relationships. And I think for a guy like Steve Nash or Jason Kidd to just be handed these with these players, these Hall of Famers in their prime, if I was Kevin Durant, why would I want a first-year Steve Nash head coach when I could go out and I could get a proven head coach with championship experience who knows
The best.
who knows what he's doing?
Well, it seems
There's
like the
no
best.
way There's no way Steve Nash can tell Kevin Durant, like, yo, you need to do X, 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 X. And if you don't, blah, blah, blah. And Kevin Durant's like, oh, shit, I don't want to piss off my Steve Nash. Like, Steve Nash holds no power over Kevin Durant, is the way I would imagine it. But that's a total guess.
I think players respect former players way more than a guy who's never played before. That's kind of been determined that guys respect coaches more that were former players. They don't like being coached by a guy who's never played the game at a college or an NBA level or overseas. That's why I think it's like 95%, 90% of the coaches all have playing experience at some level.
But I think a good example is Ime Udoka, compared Ime and Nick Nurse compared to Steve Nash and Jason Kidd. Who are you going to respect more just by the way they handle and carry themselves?
Steve Nash, because he's a Hall of Famer.
What?
Yeah, Steve
Over
Nash is
Ime Udoka and Nick Nurse?
Nick
Steve
Nurse, maybe.
Nash?
I heard Ime Udoka. I would respect Steve Nash as a basketball player.
But what's wrong with Ime's basketball career?
He started a little bit, but like Ime was more of a bench guy. Like most of the coaches they're usually bench guys. None of them are really starters. That like not a lot of them were like Sam Cassell, Chauncey Billups. I think that's the only two that were actual studs besides Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash and Jason Kidd are two Hall of Fame point guards. And if they want a head coaching role, they were already an assistant coach as a player. That is the way to think of it. So for them to go to the next step, like it wasn't too thing. Like Ime Udoka, it took him 15 years of being an assistant coach basically to get a head coaching job. And also he was a wing player, I believe, or like a shooting guard. He wasn't a point.
He retired in 2012.
Yeah. Also, most successful coaches tend to be point guards. Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Sam Cassell, Doc Rivers, Chauncey Bill, Nate McMillan. There's so many. They're all point guards. All the coaches that are former players are usually point guards, unless like you're Kevin McHale. You have you always have one or two Kevin McHales every like era who are like centers or power forwards who believe they could be coaches.
Yeah, just
like Tim Duncan gave up on being a coach. You remember that? Tim Duncan was supposed to be the hair apprentice to Tim Duncan at one point. Like when it was like, is it going to be Tim Duncan or is it going to be who's the chick's name? Who was Becky Hammonds?
I have no idea.
Becky Hammonds. She left the Spurs because the Spurs wouldn't give her the coaching job because Greg Popovich kept not retiring, and she's like, I'm not waiting any longer. So she became the highest paid coach in the WNBA. And then everyone shit on her. They're like, you're paying your coach over $1 billion, and there's not even a WNBA player making $1 billion. Bitch, you're paid for what you're worth. Becky Hammonds is an NBA coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, isn't Dawn Staley a head coach for a men's basketball team now?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure she's the Gamecocks coach, but I'm pretty sure she's the... Oh, she's the women's basketball team. I thought she was the men's basketball team. Dawn Staley's a great coach, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't follow women's basketball at all?
No, I don't. I definitely don't follow women's basketball, but I want to start getting actually more, like way more into college basketball. I
So
want to
have
get
I.
way more college sports now that I'm moving to Florida. Like,
Why? Would you have wanted to do that when you were in college?
no, because my college was lame.
Yeah, I didn't watch college sports really till I went to my college. Even though we suck at football, basketball is fun as fuck.
Yeah, it's got to be. Like, it just seems like a really fun experience. I mean, I know there's that saying Saturdays in the South, where
Oh yeah,
like
but
in the
you're going to
South
Florida.
Saturdays are
You're not in the South. You're in Florida. That's not the South. That's Florida.
fuck you. What do you
Florida's what
mean?
Florida is what Texas and the South don't want to become.
What? Why?
Legal marijuana. I mean, Florida's becoming kind of democratic,
Weed's
and
legal in Florida? Oh,
yeah,
stop.
rec. It's about to become. I mean, medical. It's about to become rec.
When?
Like I
Next
think
month.
in the next election, they're putting it up
It's so
on a
far.
referendum.
So
But
long.
uh, like Florida, like isn't considered like this. Like the South is like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Bama, Mississippi. I guess Missouri's part of it. Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, Texas is kind of its own thing, but it is the South.
Yeah.
Louisiana, but Texas and Florida are kind of their own things in
What?
the South thing. Like they don't like
Mm.
Florida. I'm pretty sure, like even with abortion laws, Florida's like I think still like is pro-abortion, which is like good. Like unlike
Aaron,
the
what do you
South.
think?
Aaron,
Is
yeah,
Florida the South?
Aaron, you said boo. Is Aaron is the Florida? Florida isn't the South. Florida's its own thing, right? Because wait, isn't Aaron from Georgia or is he from Florida? I think
Sure.
Georgia,
Yeah, he was from like
but he
outside
went to
Atlanta.
school in Florida,
Oh,
so that's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
So I think I'm pretty sure Florida's like its own thing.
I'm pissed off at Florida
Yeah,
because
yeah, Florida it's kind of its own thing. It's not
it,
really. It's the South. They don't.
dude. So many of these places in Florida raise your rent in the winter months. Do you know that?
What?
Like, so we'll call a place and it'll have like $1,800 month rent in
Uh huh.
Tampa, and then we'll call them and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's 4,100 from January to March
Then you.
or whatever."
Oh. Wait. What?
Pro-abortion is good.
Yeah,
What's
pro-abortion is good.
pro-abortion mean?
Pro-choice. I meant pro-choice. I said it wrong. I think they're pro-choice. That's a different discussion, but I said it wrong. Pro-choice, right? Not pro-abortion. Pro-choice. Yeah, not
Pro
the same. I think I phrased that
I'm
wrong. Pro-choice, which is good.
confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too, but I think you saying pro-abortion is not the same as saying you're pro-choice.
Oh,
But we're pro-choice here.
you're saying, yeah.
But either way, no. So what you have to do is when you look for a place in Florida, it's called rent control. You need to search up apartments in Tampa, Florida that are rent control.
Okay. It's like
And
really, really annoying actually how like Floridian realtors think they're like the coolest thing in the freaking world in
wait,
the
why are you going
winter.
through a realtor?
They're like not the realtor, like when you call a
Oh, the real
leasing
estate
agent or whatever.
companies.
Yeah. They think like they're like the coolest fucking state in the world because old people like going there when it gets cold in their shitty Midwestern towns. Like it's so annoying. They're actually it's super freaking annoying. There's no way we move on September 1st, which is pissing me off.
I think for me, when when I start looking at Florida, granted, my dad is a former real estate agent, and has a lot of my dad lived in Florida, and I lived in Florida, so like I know a bunch of people in Florida, so I do have that. Like your dad lives in Florida. Why aren't you asking your dad for
My
help?
mom's a realtor too. It's
Yeah, well,
because
you have everything at your disposal.
I don't need anything crazy. I'm trying to film. I'm trying to hire this filmer from Canada, and so I'm looking for a 3 bedroom. But my buddy wants it furnished. A furnished 2 bedroom would be like 1,400 a month each, and then a non-furnished would be like 900 to 800 to 900.
Yeah, no, that's fucked. That's
So
fucked.
it's like $600 more to have it furnished.
Yeah, I just know like when you look at Florida, my dad has always said you got to look for a rent controlled. That means your rent doesn't move.
Yeah, I can't even believe that exists.
You didn't know that? That's so common in New York City. You don't hear in TV shows where it's like a sitcom and they're like, yeah, this apartment, it's awesome and it's rent controlled. Like in Friends, the apartment they live in, the reason that they can afford it, the girls, is because it's rent controlled since the 1950s. So they paid the rent from the 1950s for it, is the whole joke in Friends. Or like the 1960s, something like that. That's the whole joke in Friends, is the only reason they can afford that apartment is because it's the rent hasn't gone up since like the 50s.
That makes sense because they live the most in the show Friends. They live the most interesting, boring life I've ever seen.
Someone, you can go on Reddit. Someone calculated how much their apartment would actually cost in New
Oh
York City,
yeah.
where it's located. And it's like 3 million. It's like ridiculous. Yeah, it's like not feasible that they could have lived in that apartment in New York City.
Same thing. I don't know if you ever seen How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah, same thing.
but I
They did.
guess it's like a
They're
one bathroom though, but it
no,
is a
but
really
they did
nice
the
though.
same thing. They did the same thing. Let me pull it up. How much?
Because these guys are in like prime spots. You got a bar 10 feet from your freaking apartment. Sign me up for that.
All right, so supposedly, so I know in Friends they answered it. Oh yeah, so they never answered how they could afford. Granted, like him being an architect, he should make decent money, and him being a lawyer, Marshall being a lawyer, they both make decent money. But still, that
Yeah.
apartment would have cost them $3,600 a month.
That really isn't that bad.
That isn't that bad, but that is
Yeah.
fucking. Oh my
That
god,
adds up.
that adds. You're paying like almost 40 grand a year to live there.
I actually don't think that's that crazy for those two though. But how much you'd have to be making at least 120 each in order to feel like comfortable with that. Actually,
Yeah,
no.
like
If you're paying like that's only like 800, 1,800 a person or something like that.
1,800 for the guys, but Lily and Marshall would split 900 each.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, my dad owns a condo in New York, and I only go like one. I haven't been in a few years, but we like everyone in my family goes like once or twice a year. My dad only has it because he got a really good deal on it because my uncle's the architect, but he rents it out on Airbnb for like
Oh,
a
nice.
dumb expensive. It's like on the 13th floor in Tribeca, overlooking the Hudson River, 2 blocks from Ground Zero. Oh my god, my dad just like barely goes there. And all he does is keep his nice art there.
That's nice. I have one quick comment on the How I Met Your Mother bathroom sitch because if I was Ted and Lily's living and moved in with me, I don't know, maybe this is a me issue, but like sharing a bathroom with two other people seems like a nightmare. Because I did it, I've done it several times,
What?
and sharing a bathroom with three people is not fun. One bathroom for
Oh,
three people is not fun at all.
I
In
shared
fact,
one
it's a big inconvenience at times.
shared one. So we had 2 bathrooms in my and I lived in a house that was 130 years old last year. Not last year, 2 years ago, my sophomore year of college, and I we had 2 bathrooms, but one of the bathrooms had no insulation, so you couldn't shower there during the winter because it would be just as cold in that bathroom as it was outside. So if it was -5 degrees outside, that bathroom would be -5 degrees because there was no
Oof.
insulation in it. So it was useless. We never used that bathroom. So upstairs there was one bathroom that 4 dudes shared, one shower
Yeah,
in a
not ideal.
130-year-old house.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like fucking disgusting. Now I have right here. I made sure I pay extra. I pay like $50 extra. Like my roommates pay 310. I pay 360,
Oh my
and I
god,
get
I'll take
I
that.
get I get a walk-in closet. I get my own bathroom. It's actually like
You
my
pay
room's a little mess.
$360 to live in an apartment. That is awesome.
Yeah, wait. Let me see if you can see it all. Yeah,
Um,
there's my dog. But I have some laundry I just folded this morning, so I need to put that away. But
Dude, that is 360. I might move to Kansas. Fuck.
yeah, I pay our rent is 980.
Could save over $1,000. Oh my god, 980 could save like well over $1,000 a year
Only pay Wi-Fi and
or a
electricity.
month.
No water, no trash, no nothing. I pay in utilities like $60 a month. So my rent's like $400 a month with utilities.
I'd take that.
Yeah. Well, you have to also understand is are you looking in the center of Tampa, like near the city?
I wish, dude. That's where I want to be, but no, we're talking like at least a half hour from the city, and it's
Yeah,
still
that's what.
shitty.
Okay. So you are looking in the right area. That's what. Like I've already started looking.
Fuck.
Like for me, like I'm gonna have a job, and with the money I'm making on YouTube is like I'm gonna benefit that my YouTube's gonna pay a majority of my rent, and then I'm gonna have my job to pay off my student loans. But like, no, I don't. Like it's fucked. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure I get like money for relocation. So I'm stoked for that, but no, tell me what you figured out, and I'm gonna use your information to figure out because in like 4 months, I'm gonna have to start looking for a place in Florida once I accept the job.
It's like depressing. It's just depressing.
How many hours have you spent a day looking? Like 2 hours a day?
Oh, I've only looked probably like a combined total 15 minutes. My buddies, my buddy's on this shit like every day. And he just sends me what he sees, and I hate.
Is he an actual working man?
No, he's a professional
career
golfer.
Oh, he's the professional golfer. Oh, okay.
So I'm letting him take care of that because
is he loaded?
That's the woman's duty. But is he loaded? No.
Because so my dad's ex-wife's son attempted to become a professional golfer after playing 4 years at George Washington. And what ended up happening, they were loaded. My dad's ex-wife owns like 15 McDonald's. And so when he graduated, he asked if he could play professionally golf. And they said, sure, we'll give you $1 million to go out on a year. And he only lasted 6 months because he got sick of living in hotels and like the grind and barely breaking even. And like, so he just went and got a job in the business world after 6 months of trying and then gave his parents back the money.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's also really funny. They had to ask permission to go pro.
Well,
that's like probably different. Probably went down.
He played college. He went to school and got like I think like a business administration degree. And he asked his parents if they would
sponsor him. Yeah, that's That's a big thing for professional golfers is getting like a sponsorship from a rich family.
Yeah, so
if you have a rich family, there you go.
So they loaned him $1 million. I don't know if it was $1 million, but it was like 6 figures, like a shit ton of money. And he only lasted 6 months. He gave up after 6 months, even though they said they'd finance him for the full year. He gave up after 6 months because he got sick of living in hotels and like being on the road.
Year isn't even enough. That's the issue with golf, grinding up for golf.
He was a top 10 college golfer like by the time he graduated from George Washington. He was like ranked like one of the best college golfers.
Well, if he really was, my buddies would probably know who he is.
Yeah, Jonathan Dresnick or something like that. What's his name?
Dresnick.
Something like that. This is like 5-6 years ago. So it's been a minute. This was like mid 2010s because he's 4 or 5 years older than me. So he's like in his mid 20s now, like almost late 20s. So
I think I'm in my mid 20s now.
We're 22, so we're like...
I'm 23. Is that mid 20s?
No, mid 20s is like 24, 25.
So I'm at the end of that cusp.
Yeah, you're at the end of the beginning of your 20s. I'm about to join 23 in like 3 months, dude. I'm not stoked. All right.
Damn, getting close to 30. I don't even have a show about me yet. I'm gonna have to think of a new episode.
Okay, some news was just reported. The Nets... Listen to this. Kyrie Irving is allegedly just as upset with the Nets like leadership as Kevin Durant.
They both should be, and Sean Marks should be fired, and he should have been fired 6 months ago.
So let me read you what was written by the New York Post. The Nets did not respond to a request for comment A message sent to Rich Kleiman, the business partner of Durant, went unanswered. A source close to the Nets organization indicated Durant is not the only Nets star unhappy with the team's leadership. Kyrie Irving hates these guys. He feels that Nash is terrible and Marks is bad.
Yes.
KD came to the same conclusion. The Nets have not found a trade offer that would prompt them to deal to trade the all-time great, according to the report. Sy and the Nets have made it known that they would take every last asset from a team that trades for Durant, and stating the lofty hope for the trade return. Perhaps the Nets believe that Durant would be less motivated to leave and more likely to report to September's training camp. Joe has tried to make too many decisions himself, including choosing the coach, the sources said. After Game 4 loss to Boston, Durant expressed his appreciation for Nash, whom he has consistently publicly supported, and said he was the right coach to lead the Nets into the future. Steve's dealt a crazy hand the last 2 years, Durant said, two-time champion with the Warriors. He's had to deal with so much stuff as a coach, a first-time coach, trade, injuries, COVID, and just a lot of stuff he had to deal with. What do you take from this?
I stand by my saying, and I bet they do too. When you have 3 first ballot Hall of Famers, and you have
four ballot for first Hall of Famers.
Paul Millsap. Oh no, I meant with Arden.
I was kidding with the Ben Simmons, but Paul Millsap actually might be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, right. And LMA. So yeah, you have 4. You have 3.
Oh yeah, LMA is definitely a Hall of Famer.
So you got 5 Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah, 5 Hall of Famers.
No, but you got 3 absolute menace studs.
Still in their prime, somewhat.
You just can't win it all. I don't care who's healthy. I don't care who's not healthy. You win the finals, or you at least get to the finals. I mean, that was a fail. So right then so now you're on the clock. You don't win the championship after trading for James Harden. All right, maybe they needed some time to gel, which is just another excuse. Well, then what happens? You can't trust or rely on your point guard, and that's a big issue. So James Harden wants out, and when he wants out, that's the end of the Brooklyn Nets. They don't have draft picks. Did
they ever say why James Harden wanted to leave, or was it just to reunite with Daryl Morey?
I would have wanted to leave as well because I can't trust my teammates. I can't trust.
But these problems hadn't shown up in the foundation yet.
Kyrie Irving is an unreliable He's an unreliable person in general.
But last year was the year where Kyrie and James Harden mainly played together. Kevin Durant was out most of the year that year, right? They only played 13 games.
Something game.
You know, they only played 13 games together, all 3 of them, and they were like 12-1.
Yeah. It's just, I guess it was to Harden. It wasn't. It either wasn't working, or it was pretty risky. Where, all right, I can try and stay here in Brooklyn. We can try and win this, but let's be real. The way our assets look, the way our roster is designed, we probably have 1 year of this, so we could win 1. Or I could go reunite with my boy Daryl. He'll hook the team up. I could get paired with, an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid. And, maybe I can finish out my career in Philly. I don't know. Because, Brooklyn should have won something. Or they were close to actually getting. They're not losing to Atlanta. So, sorry, Aaron.
I feel like
if they made it to the ECF.
Dude, I completely forgot about that they could have made it. They lost in the second round, right? That year with Harden and company.
Yeah, Game 7 to KD's foot was on the line.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot.
And so Milwaukee goes and they play Atlanta.
There's a lot of people saying that all this shit started during that game, that the downfall of the Brooklyn Nets started when they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Do you believe that?
100%.
Why?
100%. Because the season failed. You trade for a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best scorers of this current generation, and James Harden. You can't get past the second round. We weren't healthy. Get healthy. Get healthy. Fire Sean Marks. Fire Steve Nash and blow it up.
Is that
it didn't work.
Hat? First off,
damn straight I'm wearing a Phillies hat.
Okay, I didn't know.
In Morey we trust.
Did you just put that on right for this rant?
No, it was. I actually remember that it was a Philly hat.
I looked down, and when I looked back up, you had changed hats.
Wouldn't be the first time, actually. Big hat guy.
I actually agree with this. The Bucks might have lost that if Trey didn't get hurt.
Dude, that Hawks team was. I mean, they still got a lot of those pieces,
But the Hawks would have lost to the Phoenix Suns.
What? Oh yeah.
If the Hawks did make it to the finals, they would have lost to the Phoenix Suns.
Probably. They probably wouldn't have won it, which would have really dampened my. Maybe this show never exists because if Chris Paul were to win an actual championship, imagine Chris Paul winning a championship. I probably would never watch basketball again. So
you just quit.
Yeah.
Just being a basketball fan. I don't understand your hatred for our man Chris Paul. I know. I know that's your.
He's a freaking douchebag too.
Is he?
He's like you on the court. Like fucking get this pest off of me.
No, I'm not actually. I love being. I would say rubbed up, but I love contact in basketball because I played football and stuff. And like my always thing was like after I played football and I played basketball and soccer, I was just like, I'm gonna just be the biggest asshole on the court because people aren't used to being like physical.
Yeah, people aren't even used to that really. Bring back bullying. I think we've
bring back
about
bullying
this before, but
we have talked about this before.
Just bring it back and start bringing this shit back in sports. I miss fear. I miss the days where I feared who I knew I was about to play the next day. And I'm sleeping. I'm going to bed that night. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm playing Phil Patrick tomorrow, and he's definitely pitching. And I fucking hate when he pitches because when he hits me, it really hurts. And he has no control. And
did this happen?
Yeah, that's why I retired from baseball, actually.
You got hit by a pitch?
Oh, I got hit. I got jammed right in the elbow. And I remember it so clearly because he threw like 3 pitches. This was like the most feared guy in the league. He threw 3 pitches all over the strike zone. And then he threw 2 more strikes that I was looking at because he was like, I was a kid. He's throwing it like 70, 80. I'm in middle school. And it was so terrifying. I'm like, just one more pitch and this is done. This dude jams me right in the fucking elbow, and I knew it right. I fell to the ground. I knew it while I was getting up. I'm like, I'm done. This is my last baseball season ever. 100%.
Is it easy to make baseball like a college team? Is baseball because like lacrosse seems like, dude, it seems like if you play lacrosse in Maryland and you're just on a good team as a backup, you at least get a D3 scholarship.
Yeah, that makes. But you guys are like lax,
like capital of America.
Yeah.
I didn't know if like baseball's like that. Like, is baseball easy to make college, but hard to make it to the pros?
It's like really hard to make it pro.
Yeah, no. But is it hard to make it to college? Because it seems like so I told you my girlfriend's dad's a baseball coach, high school, and he has hella guys go like D1 or go pro. Like he has a bunch of guys in the league and minor leagues, but from what I've talked is it seems like the most popular baseball schools, if it's not like Vanderbilt or one of like those top names, it's usually like these D3s or D2s or JUCOs all over like California and Florida. Like California supposedly has hella good D3, D2 schools and like low level D1s, and same thing with Florida.
That's good for them, but yeah, I think that like the SEC and the ACC kind of run.
Oh yeah, they run, but outside of that, they're gonna Arkansas, Vanderbilt.
There's some good low key teams out there.
Yeah,
I think any college sport is easy to make if you dedicate your childhood to it. I don't think it's hard to play collegiate anything if that's what you want to do.
You just literally have to dedicate your childhood.
You have to know that early on.
Yeah, like you literally have to tell your kid, like, hey, you know, in like middle school, when there's a birthday party, you're probably gonna have to say, no, I can't come to your birthday party because you're gonna go outside and dribble the basketball for 10 hours straight.
You're like playing travel baseball, or
you're gonna be on
different state.
Yeah, or like in high school, you think you'd be soaking up all that poon? No, you're gonna have to wait till college, bro. If you want to be a college athlete, chicks are for college, not for high school, you know? Like, not like that
Pretty much.
instead. Like you can still fuck around and stuff, but like if you're just being a partier, you can't be a partier unless you're like a fucking generational athlete.
That's what Aaron Rodgers was saying. Oh, while all my friends were out partying on Friday night, I was putting in the reps.
Does he actually say that?
Yeah. In his last interview about ayahuasca.
That is true. The ayahuasca. Did you hear Colin Coward? He goes, I've done something like ayahuasca back in college. I drank 6 rum and cokes in 30 minutes, and I threw up all night.
Damn.
I like died when I heard that. I was like, that's not even comparable, except for the throw up part. Like I was just like, your brain works so fantastic, Colin Coward. I was like, you hear him do ayahuasca, and you go, I've done something like that. Drank 6 rum and cokes in 30 minutes in college, threw up all night.
Very curious what 6 rum and cokes in 30 minutes would do to me.
You probably threw up all night.
No, I'm a very seasoned drinker.
I think I never went in a rum and coke phase. Did you go through a rum and coke phase?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
that's my favorite drink.
Oh, you're still in the rum and coke phase.
Still in the rum and coke phase. I've matured up to the Jack and Coke days.
The Jack and Coke.
Yeah. That's what I get on my when I go to the airport. I'll just get like fucking turn up. I'll spend like $50-$100
really
at the airport and just get boozing. Just
I get
boozing.
But if I'm boozing, my first drink, I start any booze fest with a Irish car bomb. Maybe one at least.
Whoa, that's sick.
I love Irish car bombs. I go wherever I go, I'm like, let me get an Irish car bomb. Sometimes 2. I'll do 2 to the face.
Whoa, that is sick.
And then I'll ask for the third cheapest tequila. So I don't want the first
the third
2.
cheapest tequila to you, like King of Queens.
No, because the first 2 tequilas at bar schools are like rail, like the worst tequila you can buy. It's usually tequila flavored vodka.
Okay.
Like it's ass. It's like shit you've never heard of. So usually if you ask for the third cheapest, it's either Jose Cuervo or Espolana or whatever.
Why don't you get the tequila you like?
Huh? Because
why don't you just get the tequila you like?
It's usually Espanola or Jose Cuervo. Because I'm drinking at college bars, bro. They don't have like unlimited selections of tequila. They have like 3 bottles, 4 bottles, 5 bottles of tequila. They usually have Dom Perignon or whatever it's called, and 1800, which is like $10 a shot. I'm not fucking paying that.
Yeah.
Or I can ask for Espolon or Jose Cuervo, which is like $3 a shot, $5 a shot. And most of the time, I'm like, I tip the bartenders, which nobody really does in a college bar. So like after my first drink, I come back and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you $20. You can keep 5. Give me 5 shots. Okay, even though that's not the right pricing, but because they know I'm tipping them, they'll be like, sure.
If you're south of the Mason-Dix line,
I'm
go to
15
a bar
minutes.
with like, just go. Whoa, that's cool. Just
My
go to
dad's
a bar
house
with
is
like
15 minutes from there.
With like 220s, and you'll like black out with 220s.
Not in Maryland.
Yeah,
I mean, Maryland's south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Is it really?
Yeah, my dad's house is 15 minutes from the Mason-Dixon line. Yes, I can drive to the Pennsylvania border in 15 minutes from my father's house.
Pennsylvania's the Mason-Dixon line?
Yes, that's how.
That bitch is north, dude.
The Mason-Dixon line is during the Civil War. Maryland was a neutral state because I believe our governor was a Southern sympathizer, but the people didn't want to. We're more Northerners, and we didn't want to choose. So we were like, we're neutral. We're the only state that was just like, we're on the Union side, but we actually fuck with the South. Neutral.
I just mean it's too far north. I don't like that. That's the
anything.
Pennsylvania's right by freaking Canada.
Anything below Maryland is the South. I think Virginia.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I like that, but it's like when you really dive into the map, it's just
go to Virginia and you got people talking like this all the time. They got
Virginia is a really interesting.
Like if you go to Northern Virginia, they're just Maryland 2.0. But you go to Southern Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, that's the South. Richmond, Virginia. That's the start of the South. Richmond, Virginia is the start of the South. Also, we're the former capital of the South
It
was.
actually feels very southerny in DC. Even it feels
Yeah,
southerny enough for
there.
me.
I guess. I feel like DC and like Baltimore are like the same, just northeast cities with like just a huge, diverse population of people.
Hmm.
I mean, I live in an area where like, I mean, they're like at the college there's black people, but you go outside of this college, you're not going to bump into many like minorities.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's like sometimes I'll be getting gas and I'll be like, I'll notice people staring at me and I'll be like, am I that foreign looking? Like,
Wow.
yeah, I'll be like getting gas in like some like hick town and I'll be like, do they know I'm Jewish or
Oh
do
my
I look this
goodness.
brown? Because a lot of times I tell people I'm Jewish and they're like, oh, because there's no Jews out here. They're like, what's that like? I'm like, it's pretty good, you know. It's like being a Christian, except Jesus hasn't came yet.
Please watch the video of killing baby Hitler. It's like the funniest. Have you seen that video?
No.
Like it's like a It's Always Sunny skit, something like that. Like it's kind of old, and they're like they find a time, like their washing machine is a time capsule, and they use it to kill baby Hitler, and they walk outside. And it's all these fucking what's the attire where it's like all black? The
Goth.
Orthodox, is it
Oh,
Orthodox Jew?
Orthodox Jews. Orthodox
Where
Jews. Yes, yes.
they're like
Hasidic,
all dressed
Hasidic,
up.
Hasidic Jews. They're called Hasidic Jews. Hasidic
So they
Jews.
walk outside, they open the door, and it's all fucking Jews. Like there's just like 20 Jews walking around. Is that slurry? Is that getting to slurry territory?
No, no. So,
But they're all these Orthodox Jews.
do you
It's so funny because they didn't
have you
kill baby Hitler. It's all Jewish.
have you
It's
have
so
you seen
bad.
have you seen Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah.
I've seen every episode. My friends all say I'm like the 20-year-old version of Larry David because I'll do shit and
Oh,
they'll be
nice.
like we'll be like I'll do Larry David shit. Like I'll be like, let's say we're in chapter and it's completely quiet and I'm in the front row, but I notice my boys are in the back mid chapter. Like while somebody's talking, I will just get up, climb over chairs, like between people going, excuse me, and just walk over to his seat. And or in class, I'll just do shit and just not care. And my friends are just like, you're Larry David. They're like, you just give no fucks about what anyone else thinks. And like, but there's this great Larry David joke. So my dad, a Hasidic Jew, from what my dad tells me, they can't touch women. They can't touch their hands. They can only touch women for reproducing.
The way it should
And
be.
when they have sex, they get a white bed sheet and they cut a hole in it. They put the
Just
hole.
like Mormons.
They put the hole over top of the vajayjay of the woman, and then they have sex with the woman over top of a sheet and stick their dick through the hole. And so there's an episode, Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry David gets a chance to cheat on his wife because he gets a hall pass, and
Yeah.
he finds this really hot Hasidic Jew who works at the dry cleaners. Have you seen this one? And he brings
Yeah.
over the sheet, and she's like, "What is that?" I know it's not with the sheet.
Does he go through with it? I can't remember.
No, she kicks him out because she thought it was so like rude and
So
disrespectful.
yeah, fucked up. Yeah.
The best one is the season finale of season 5 when he works on the producers and he does the play and he's about to have sex with the actress and he's right about Vanger and he looks up and it's a picture of George W. Bush with a signature on it and he goes, "Is that George W. Bush?" She's like, "Yes." He's like, and he stops like hooking up with her. He's like, "Yes, David, I am Larry. I am a Republican." He's like,
That show is so funny, man.
He's like, I think
That's a good one.
I was like, oh, that was such a great ending. Such a great ending. That show's so good. Have you seen Archer?
No.
Archer's a great one. You should get it. Archer's so good. Do you like Bob's Burgers? I don't,
I
but
love Bob Burgers.
okay, the voice of Bob's Burger is Archer.
Yeah, that guy's like the voice of a lot of things.
Yeah, and all he does is use his normal voice.
Oh, that's
Listen
just
to
his
Bob's
normal name.
Burger and Archer. They're literally the same person, except Archer's more of a douchebag.
Yeah, he's in Master of None.
Archer, Aaron, my girlfriend hates the fact that I got her into Archer. I like started watching Archer and I remember sploosh. Like whenever it's something hot or like that's what she said, they go sploosh. You should watch it. Archer's so funny. It's so outrageous. And like the shit they say, Archer's good. Archer's so good. Archer, I love Archer. I've been meaning to get a poster. I don't like Bob's Burger, but I like Archer.
Oh,
I think Bob's Burger, the animation creeps me out.
I love the animation.
They're just like
The burgers.
I've seen it. I've seen plenty of episodes. Like I think the most entertaining part of the show is the kids.
Yeah.
Like the little fat boy is funny.
Yeah, Gene. This
This is
episode
another
kind of got away from us.
This episode really did get away from us. We did talk about, the Brooklyn Nets, and also Nico Mannion are getting closer to a contract extension with 21-year-old point guard Nico. Nico Mannion signed an extension with Virtus Bologna. He's going to be in Italy until 2025.
Oh, that's kind of depressing.
I never really followed him in college, and I barely saw him play in the NBA. I heard he was absolute ass.
Yeah, I guess he's not. I guess his frame doesn't help. But
he got sick as fuck. He got like a bacterial infection and almost
did he
died.
really?
Search up pictures of Nico Mannion, skinny as hell. He lost like 100 pounds.
Wow, this was in Tokyo. Dude, that's like terrifying.
Yeah, dude, he's literally like super.
That's way too skinny. I mean, I know he's already skinny, but
Yeah, like I really feel bad for Nico Mannion. I mean, he's gotten better. This was like a year or two ago, but he got sick as fuck with like a virus or a bacterial infection that like he was fighting for his life, and he lost like 50 pounds. He was like,
he
literally
looks okay now.
Yeah, but he literally looked like a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, he looks like a little kid.
Like he's literally skin and bones. Like it's actually really sad. Now, we didn't really talk Donovan Mitchell. So supposedly from Fred Katz, he's written that on some variation, the Knicks B-level offer is better than most of the other suitors' A-level offers. But why is that true? Which of the non-Knicks 6 can come close to the package New York could cobble? The Jazz want 5 to 7 first-round picks, as well as young players. The Knicks all own their first-round picks, and they also own 4 unprotected picks from the Wizards in 2023, the Pistons in 2023, the Mavericks in 2023. Holy fuck, they have 3 first-rounders next year. Milwaukee's 2025, and those picks are protected, but all their picks are unprotected, which means they can deal up to 8 first-rounders, including 4 unprotected ones, with at least 3 first-round swaps. And they have, RJ Barrett, who we assume they would not include in any hypothetical trade, but Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Obi Toppin as 3 potential pieces that the Jazz would be interested in. At this point, it seems like they're basically sitting pat, and they'll be like, hey, we gave you the best offer you're going to get. So we'll sit here. You have that offer, review your other offers, tell us when you're ready, because the Jazz are asking for a bigger offer than they got for Rudy Gobert. But at the same time, some teams in the running can't beat the Knicks offer of potentially 7 first-round picks.
Yeah. I don't know why if that's real, I don't know why the Jazz haven't even just accepted that already yet. I'd just take that offer. 7 picks.
Again, it goes back to the soft deadline of
what else are they waiting for? Who are they waiting for? Or a dark horse team? Like the Kings?
I personally think they're waiting for the Lakers. They're waiting for the Lakers. A 3-team trade. Lakers will take on Jazz received Russell Westbrook and baby Taylor Horton-Tucker and 2 first-round picks. In return, they sent them Bojan Bogdanovic, Patrick Beverly, and Mike Conley.
I feel like the Lakers would have already done that if that was real.
I think they're waiting. Everybody's waiting for the Jazz to finally be like, we're not going to get a better offer. And they're going to be like, this trade with the most picks we can get is like 6 to 9 picks if we include the Lakers in this. And that way they can get Taylor Horton-Tucker, who's still young, and then they buy out Russell Westbrook and they get themselves, a wing shooter in Bojan. They get themselves 2 guards in Conley and Bev.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lakers have put out all their proposals, and I think the Lakers realize their best chance of getting good players is by joining any of the trade as a third team and basically be like, hey, we'll take all the shitty contracts.
Yeah.
Like those, Pat Bev, Mike Conley, and Bojan Bogdanovic are not bad players, but one could argue that, their contracts are a bit longer than some people would like, and that's why. What you doing?
Restroom.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think the Laker trade is with the Jazz probably their best interest.
Are you stomaching a shit?
Yeah, I'm trying to dip out of here, to be honest with you.
Here, I can wrap up the show.
All right.
Well, I'll wrap it up.
Aaron, and Siri,
Aaron.
it was nice talking to you.
Yeah. We were up to 8. We were up to 8 at one point.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
again,
I guess I'll see you tomorrow. I'll get some clips going.
Just know all the journalists and everyone I talk to, everybody's on vacation right now, so we're the only ones making NBA content.
Oh, hell yeah!
All
right.
Yeah, it's NBA vacation time. So,
peace.
I'll see you later. I'll wrap the show up. Either way, this is the end of the show. Hey, Aaron, we'll have you in tomorrow. I think that'll be good. We'll do tomorrow, Wednesday episode. I saw your DM a little bit late, and I meant to mention that, but we'll have you on tomorrow. Let's do that. And yeah, no, I think I'm just going to milk this to 1 hour just because I like the shows to go run for an hour. But definitely, we're in a weird situation with the NBA just because we're at a standstill. Plus, it's vacation. Training camp doesn't start till September. And first off, I'd like to say that it's weird because training camp starts whenever a team wants. Also, shout out the new Lakers uniforms, and the Warriors are also, it seems like a bunch of teams. I mean, they're just milking the amount of, I would say, jersey revenue they can make, it's just ridiculous. But sometimes you look at the NBA and first off, Quinn Cook signed with the Sacramento Kings, and he signed a 1-year deal. He's going to compete for the third point guard spot. He hasn't played in the NBA since the 2020 to 21 season with the Cavaliers. As well as we saw Trent Forrest signed a deal with a 2-way contract with the Atlanta Hawks. And Trent Forrest spent his first 2 seasons with the Utah Jazz, averaged about like 3.5 points, about 1.5 assists, 1.5 rebounds. Nothing special, but he shows shooting ability. He comes from, Florida State. So Florida State, Pat Williams, Jonathan Isaac, Scotty Barnes, they've done a great job at acquiring talent and finding guys out. And hey, Aaron, I'm really happy about what your wife said. Yo, I want Atlanta to bring back these jerseys. Give me 1 second, guys. Atlanta needs to bring back these bad boys. These are the jerseys that need to be brought back. I want these brought back. Okay? They need to bring these. There's actually Stitch Spud Webb jersey. And my old roommate actually met Spud Webb, and Spud Webb was an asshole to him. Spud Webb, yeah. Yeah, 80s, baby. Yeah. Those are like my favorite jerseys. And the thing is they need to bring those. So my friend met Spud Webb at a Texas Legend D League game, and he went up. He was like 10 years old, and he was like, he basically went up to Spud Webb and he thought it was like, "You're really cool, man, and I think it's really cool that you could dunk and all that." And supposedly Spud Webb looking at him, he's like, "I can't do that fucking shit anymore." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I can't do that shit. I'm trying to watch a fucking game." And my friend to this day hates Spud Webb because of that interaction. Because Spud Webb told him, "I can't do that shit, and I'm trying to watch a fucking game." He basically told him off. But yeah, I love Spud Webb. Yeah, yeah, it sucks he was an ass, but that's one of my favorite jerseys. I have a whole jersey collection that I don't wear. Used to be bigger. I sold some of them. I regret it, but I got like 30 jerseys. I used to have like 50, but that's what happens when you get a juvie and you have nothing but money to spend on jerseys. But guys, I hope you guys do have a great day. That was it today's episode. Till next time, guys. Peace out.